Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be creating this mobile app loading screen in Figma. Alright, let's get started. For this video, we're going to use these 4 images here. The links for these images are going to be in the description box below. So we're going to start with a frame. I'm going to click on F and we are going to use one of the phone frames. We're going to use the iPhone 16 and 17 Pro Max. Going to click on that and we are going to have our frame. Next up, we are going to come over to shapes and we want to use a star. So select star and I'm just going to click so we can have that. Let's change the settings of this. So for corner radius, I want it to be 15. For count, it's also going to be 15. And for ratio, it's going to be 80%. And I'm going to change the dimensions to 270 by 270. So 270 by 270. Let me align it to the horizontal and vertical center. Then let's go over to fill and we are going to change the fill to white. Next up is a text. So I'm going to click on T and we are going to type welcome with an exclamation mark. So I'm going to type welcome and I'm going to change the typography of this text. Let's go over to typography. The font is going to be Playboy. Size is going to be 50 and I'm going to leave the line height as auto. If your line height is going to set to something and you want it to be auto, just clear whatever is there and then click on enter to set it to auto. I'm going to align this to the horizontal and vertical centers of this frame. So it's also aligned to the horizontal and vertical center of that star. Although you can't see it behind, it's necessary for our animation. But yeah, that's the basic frame. So now we can now start in adding in our images. What we're going to do is duplicate this frame. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift so I can create another copy while also keeping it aligned. The first image we're going to use is this one. So I'm going to select this image and I'm going to change, let's change just the width. We're going to change the width of this image to 970. So 970. And I'm going to come in and then bring the image into this frame. So align the image, the top left corner to top left corner of your frame. So I'm going to use my left square bracket to send it to the back, or you could come to the selection here and then drag the image to the bottom of our selection. So you have it behind this star and as well as the text. So that's it for this one. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, create another copy of this frame, and now we can now move this one. So this we're going to move, oops, I want to select just the image. I'm going to move the image, let's see, so I can see more of it. I'm going to move it, so align the bottom. That's the only one I can communicate. Align the bottom, so let's say around here, and you can have the image. Let me move it a little to the left. Let's see. Yeah, this looks fine. So something like this. So move your image from what you have here, so it to be more to something like this. I'm going to select this image, this frame, and then duplicate. Select the image, just the image, delete it. And now I'm going to create another copy of this frame. We're going to grab our next image, which is this one, and I'm going to bring it here, change the width to 890, just the width to 890. And I'm going to grab it and bring it into this frame. Let me get closer. So this time, once again, align the top of the image to the top of your frame. And let me just kind of align it first before I send it to the back. I'm going to move it. Let's see. This is, let me see. Let me move it. Well, this looks all right. And now I'm going to use my left square bracket to send it to the back, or you could come over to the selection here where you have your layers and then you can move the image to the bottom of your selection. And then I'm going to create another copy, select just the image, and now we are going to, let me say, move the image upward like this. Let me move it also a bit to the side. Let's see, could move it more. I'm just trying to, let's say this is all right. So I'm going to leave this one as it is. I'm going to zoom out. Let me create another copy of this. Same thing, select the image and delete. Let's create another copy. I'm going to create another copy of this frame, bring it here. Let's grab the next image, which is this one. And for this one, we are going to change the height to match the height of our frame. So I'm just going to reduce the height before I even bring it into the frame. So I just want the height to be the same as the frame. So the height is 956. So I'm going to drag this image and bring it into the frame. I'm going to move this image, let's say this. And now I'm going to use my left square bracket to send it to the bottom, or you could drag it here. I'm going to create a copy of this. And for this one, select the image. We just want to move it to the right like this. Let's say a bit more. That looks okay. Yeah. And now create another copy of this frame. And then select the image, delete. Select the frame, create a copy. We're going to grab our final image, this one. And I'm going to, let's change the width to 1100. And I'm going to bring this image into this frame. For placement, let me say, let me send it to the back first, so I can kind of, all right, let me see, I think, okay, so the bottom of the image is aligned to the bottom of our frame. I just kind of place it something like this. Let's create a copy of this frame. And we are going to move this image. So I'm just going to move, oops, just the image. I'm going to move this like this. All right, that looks good. All right, we've created all of our frames. And now we are going to move on to animate. So I'm going to select all of these frames, go over to this component side, and then we are going to create a component set. Now select the prototype and we are going to connect all of these frames to each other. I'm going to start with this one. So when we connect this white screen to an image, the trigger is going to be after delay. We're just going to have differences in terms of timing. So delay is going to be 1 millisecond. The animation is going to be smart animate. The easing is going to be linear, and duration is going to be 800 milliseconds. And I'm going to close it. Now, when we're going between image to image, the duration is going to be 6000. So trigger in this one is going to be after delay. Delay is 1 millisecond and duration is 6000 milliseconds. And I'm going to close this. Let's come to this one. Since we're going from an image to a white screen, we're going to make the trigger after delay 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 800 milliseconds. Let's move on to the next one. 800, yeah, 800. So from these two, it's also going to be 800 because we are going from a white screen to the image. So we can go to the image. The slow animation is for the image specifically. So this, we are going to leave it at 800. Hopefully it's not too confusing. From white screen to image or from image to white screen is 800. From image to image is 6000. I'm going to close it. Then these two, trigger is going to be after delay. The delay is going to be 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 6000. And then I'm going to close this. Let's move on to the next one. Connect these two. Trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is going to be 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 800 milliseconds. Now I'm going to connect these two. Trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is 1 millisecond and we're going to leave the duration as it is. Move on to this one. Connect these two. Trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is going to be 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 6000 milliseconds. I'm going to connect this to now. The trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is going to be 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 800 milliseconds. I'm going to close this. Select this to this. Trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is going to be 1 millisecond and duration is going to stay at 800 milliseconds. Let's connect these two. Trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is going to be 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 6000. I'm going to close it and then finally we're going to connect this last frame back to the first one. So I'll connect this to the first. Trigger is going to be after delay. Delay is 1 millisecond and duration is going to be 800 milliseconds. All right, so that's about it. So I'm going to click on F so I can insert another frame. I'm going to use iPhone 16 and 17 Pro Max. That's what we use for all of our frames. I'm going to just maybe bring it here. Now we're going to select this first option, hold Alt, create a copy and bring it into this other frame and align it. So I just want to make sure it's aligned properly. It is. So for prototype, make sure that you set your device settings to the frame we're already using, which is either the iPhone 16 or 17 Pro Max device. All right, let's now run our prototype and see what our loading screen looks like. All right, so this is what our loading screen looks like. So this works well with a sort of, let me say, for this, I took like maybe you have a photo sharing platform or something similar, or maybe it's a photography platform or mobile app, if that's something you're working on. So anything that has an image or a visual, this will work well for a loading screen for it. But yeah, that is it for this particular one. If you want to watch similar videos to this where I create UI UX design projects in Figma, if you want to watch longer content, you can check the videos in the description box below. I also have some courses if you're interested, and you could also click on the video that is on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. You could also leave me a comment if you want. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.